What's up, family? What's up? What's up? Get this video a big thumbs up if you get some value from this video. As usual, I like to pour some value into you guys' lives and just have an authentic conversation and get you guys' thoughts, perspective down in the comments as I give my authentic thoughts and my take on things and just having a conversation, right? But man, oh man, Caitlin Clark, she wounded her brand, man. She has succumbed to the woke leftist liberal approach in regards of sports and and fell into the trap of politicizing sports, in this case basketball, the WNBA. The sunken place, I like to call it, in regards of the WNBA, and wow, they've been a league that has been basically on life support for for years, 25 years. I covered, it's been about a month since I covered Caitlin Clark. I talked about Dejani Carrington and the eye poke with the dirty foul. I believe she should have been kicked out the game. I talked about Cheryl Reeve talking smack, basically discrediting Caitlin Clark in regards of her gameplay and her how skillful she is, and then Cheryl Reeve ended up giving Caitlin Clark her respects. Cheryl Swoops basically saying that she didn't break her record yet in regards of the hate because she got her record broken. Cheryl Swoops, she just a older person, a pioneer from the early times of the WNBA, but a bitter old WNBA player who basically was like, look, Caitlin Clark, she a rookie. You know what I'm saying? She don't know nothing yet. She just now getting to the big leagues. Basically trying to discredit her like she don't qualify to be where she worked so hard to be in, the position that she's in, basically being part of the WNBA. And just mad that she broke her record. Cheryl Swoops was. She was mad that she broke her record. I talked about Sue Bird talking about, oh, Caitlin Clark didn't just make this league great. We made it all we all made it great. And Angel Reese, in regards of how she basically tapped out and just started being a content creator and doing her podcast. And ever since she ran off that injury to in her season in regards to playing with her team and so many other things, you know what I'm saying? From Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark teammates and how they bond together and band together. And Aaliyah Boston, so many great things, and I hold so many individuals accountable accountable through the entire league, even down to the president, or I shouldn't say the president, yeah, the president of the league, held her accountable within the finals when she wore that New York Liberty New York, Statue of Liberty type of style dress, like she already had the preconceived notion who was going to win, or did she know who was going to win? So that's the gist of how I've been covering Caitlin Clark for a minute, and just the WNBA wrapped around Caitlin Clark, and even in off season, what they've been doing, and Kelsey Mitchell playing, overseas, and the rival league trying to recruit, Caitlin Clark, but she's focused on her golf tournament, when the whole league ended in the summer. But man, Caitlin Clark just wounded her brand. And if she don't know, and the WNBA don't know, they're gonna find out. And I want to preface the conversation before I show this video of Scott Jennings basically obliterating the whole CNN panel with this white privilege topic, right? Um, I want to preface it by saying that she disappointed not just conservatives, because we're going to see not only the CNN panel take, but we're also going to see um, the View try to justify this white privilege statement that Caitlin Clark has fell into saying during her New York Times dialogue, as she was awarded Athlete of the Year, which she deserves it. But what I want to get into is she didn't leave conservatives down. We're not labeling people and we're not labeling people and trying to make it as only this certain pool of people that was rooting for Caitlin Clark don't like Caitlin Clark no more. It's about the generation, the young generation, the fans that were coming into the WNBA league, and actually first timers. I was a first timer this year discovering the WNBA and gaining interest into the WNBA. Young kids that looked up to Caitlin Clark to see the possibility to come into this league, the WNBA. And she backed away from what she represented to us, and let alone what she represented as just being a competitive athlete. Because we all know, and when it comes to sports, you eat what you kill. It's a competitive field. If you get comfortable or get complacent, somebody can unseat you. So you always have to keep working and working hard at your craft. And she represented a voice of not feeling sorry for yourself, but of hope. But not only hope, faith. But faith what works, because faith without works is dead. Because, and she had this mantra of, look, don't feel bad for yourself because you white. Don't feel bad for yourself because you black, whatever race you are. Basically, Caitlin Clark stood for saying, I can change the trajectory of the WNBA, and I'm not feeling sorry because I'm white. And I loved it because she's talented and she's qualified to be in the game of basketball. And she's supposed to be here. She was supposed to get this Times awarded Athlete of the Year. And the black people like Cheryl Swoops, individuals that was jealous of her because she changed the trajectory of the league in regards of giving them charter flights, seats being sold out. She was selling out arenas with her Indiana Fever team, and it was only her first year out of 25 years of this league, of the WNBA existing, 25 years of being on a lifeline, of being subsidized by the NBA, the Steph Currys, the LeBrons. They all, the NBA is funding the WNBA. And if you don't believe me, why? And I covered this, fam. You can go look on my channel. I have receipts. Why do you think that the WNBA, and in this case, Caitlin Clark team, the Indiana Fever organization, awarded Herb Simon, the owner of Indiana Fever? Who do Herb Simon own first? The Indiana Pacers. So investors, because the WNBA proposed, invest in this league, you won't be let down. Now investors are getting tired and they like, where's my return on investment? I've been plunging all this money into the WNBA and I haven't seen a return on my investment. So they got a Herb Simon say, look, make this Indiana Fever team. You won't be disappointed. We'll have great players. We'll sell tickets. We'll pay you back for the investment you put in. And they still haven't received an investment for years. And they tired now. And they like, where's my money? You know what I'm saying? So Caitlin Clark was not only the hope in regards of hard work gets you where you are. There's no such thing as white privilege, because it's not. If that's the case, it's a such thing as black privilege, because black people love to go into the Victim Olympics and they love to say how they're being mistreated and run into this thing of being of seeking sympathy to be awarded, but never put in the hard work to just do the work. So focus on sympathy, but no hard work. That's why diversity, equity, and inclusion exists, which I'm glad Trump is doing away with. Because at the end of the day, you'll just be hiring somebody or bringing somebody into the WNBA because of their skin color, not necessarily because they qualify. Because people want to see you, because you're a good player. You're a hardworking player like a Caitlin Clark. See, when it comes to sports, everything is neutralized. No skin color can prove, no skin color can show work ethic. No skin color could show how much value you bring to the game of basketball. No skin color could show how valuable you are to brands and sponsors and, the league in its whole, and selling tickets. And in return, because I covered this, guys, the WNBA is on the brink of a lockout at the end of 2025. You want to know why? Because the WNBA union wants to raise their salaries, but they didn't necessarily deserve it, because LeBron earned his salary. he sell tickets in return, which validates the increase of why they should have the wages that they have in the NBA. The NBA, if anything, should be crying, and the players in the NBA should be asking for sympathy and how they got to fund this WNBA. Caitlin Clark, in this case, is funding the WNBA. And they still lost $40 million this year. And I covered that too. You guys can go check out the video. But my point is, Caitlin Clark left no excuses on the table like these black folks that have been slandering her, that have been talking about her, that have been ungrateful of how she brought value to the league and brought hope to the league and helped y'all get charter flights and gave y'all an umbrella where I could know about a Nafisa Collier. I could know about a Diana Taurasi. I can know about a Cheryl Swoops. I can even pay attention because I will only know Angel Reese if I didn't pay attention to the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark this year. I wouldn't know Angel Reese for a basketball player. I would know her for a content creator. So she bringing visibility to y'all within her own work and her own spotlight she created. What more do you want from this woman? But I got to hold Caitlin Clark accountable because you basically succumbed to the very thing that they wanted you to succumb to. And you know what that is? You inserted yourself in a spotlight when it came to them race baiting, race hustling, and this race profile. And you let them build on your spotlight by bullying you using a race card. When your talent got you your own spotlight and you worked for it. See, you value that thing special when you know you work for it. If you got to sit there and play Victim Olympics and use a race card when you are in the WNBA and you should be working at your craft because you got there, but you just have to make yourself more valuable. But complaining, you shouldn't be in that league. And that's why nobody's watching it. So that's why people are not rocking with Caitlin Clark. Because Caitlin Clark, man, how can you be sorry for who you are and you work for it? There's no such thing as white privilege. You work for what you have, Caitlin Clark. And we the people resonated with that because we hardworking Americans recognize hard work. So now, who do we root for in this league? No one. And I preface the conversation there, but let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments so far with my little tangent. But I just had to add the context here and how I'm perceiving things so you guys know where I'm coming from. Because I'm passionate about this stuff, man. But let's check out Scott Jennings basically let this CNN panel know what's happening.
Why is she being bullied?
Why is that wrong?
Why is she being bullied for acknowledging something that's smart, truth, and factual?
Well, a couple things. Number one, whether you're an athlete or anyone else, if I hear you use the phrase "my truth," I immediately then discount everything else you say because there isn't my truth or your truth. There's just the truth. And when you start using phrases like that, it tells me that
That's not true.
Your brain has been captured by something that I don't really respect.
That's not true.
Number two.
That's not true.
Number two. The attention the league got this year was amazing, and it was all because of her. She is an amazing player.
Exactly.
The arenas were full when she played in them. The
Facts.
TV ratings were up when she was on television. That's undeniable. But, the league still lost like $40 million this year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never made money. And to me, when you're talking about having respecting people who built something, what did they build? A league that loses money every year? She has the capacity.
What do you mean,
to
what did they build? What do you mean, what did they build?
What kind of a business did they build?
The reason why it's still up, still running, whether it's losing money or not, is because of these black women who are in it.
No, it's not because of these black women. It's because the NBA has been a lifeline to fund this league. And they're getting tired of it. Adam Silver, LeBron James, they're getting tired of it, man. They're getting tired of it. And if anything, Caitlin Clark has helped reduce your negative balance of how this league has been losing money. And the very thing that the trap that they wanted Caitlin Clark to fall into, that she did, and these black women is the reason why they lose money. Focus on the game. You compete. If you don't compete, you get out the way. And there's too many black women in this league that's so busy worrying about validation and wanting reparations And they're keeping them in this league, in this case, the WNBA, and that's why it's a sunken place that nobody want to watch. You're too busy looking for excuses instead of doing your job.
Isn't it because
And
of the
so,
investors?
no, Scott, stop it. You stop it now.
It's not. I was in Dickie's
Who
arena.
pays for it?
I was in Dickie's
stop it.
arena. Let me just
Guys,
tell
one at
you.
a time.
It says more about the people who are getting offended by it
Yeah.
than
That's what I just said,
her.
yeah.
I think they're just disappointed that she appears to have been captured by the woke mob.
You don't
Facts.
look
Is
at
it
it.
gracious?
And
Hold on
here's
one
the
second.
disappointment.
I think it's the white
Hold
privilege.
on, let him articulate this because I want to learn something.
I feel a little bad for her because she's going to learn that it will never be enough, no matter how much of the phrase.
Exactly. It will never be enough. It will never be enough. I'm going to say the things that they won't say out loud. Black people never satisfied. They never satisfied. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark could sit here and be like, oh, I understand I'm the athlete of the year, but also for these black women, if it wasn't white privilege exist. See, the thing is, if this so-called hypothetical, let's go hypothetical, white on white privilege, right? White on white privilege understand each other then. This hypothetical, even though I believe it, I believe it don't exist. But we going hypothetical just to have a conversation. If it exists, right? Then that means why they have understanding and there can be enough. But when it come to black privilege, it's never enough. They want reparations. They have entitlement. So no matter how much you root for them or understand them, they still want more. See, it reminds me of, even if you help a person, sometimes people don't want to be helped or it's never enough when they do get help. But the thing is, Caitlin Clark been there for a year. And the only thing I see in this situation is the women looking at themselves and the reflection of themselves and like, dang, I've been here more than Caitlin Clark. And I ain't had no value as much as she did in a year as a rookie. You don't see Kelsey Mitchell, her teammate, running into the Victim Olympics. And I'm talking to the majority, not the minority. Not all of the black women are complaining. Some of them may be offended. Look, we don't want the pity. We just gonna work. So I'm not saying all, but I'm speaking in regards of the situation, the topic.
No matter how much of the groveling you do, it will never be enough for the people in that league that hate her guts. It will
Why
never
Facts.
be
why do
enough.
you assume
They hate her
that
guts.
why do
Yes,
you
they do.
assume
They
that
do
she
not.
is trying to pander? Isn't it
Because
also
I hear the
Scott,
language. It's
Scott,
the language of the pander.
Scott,
I
listen.
hear the phrase white privilege. Sports is the one place where nobody on the field has any privilege at all. She
Thank
doesn't
you.
get extra points when she shoots because she's white. She gets the same number of points as anybody else. Sports is the great equalizer. And it just felt like to a lot of people that she was groveling for no reason because she is an amazing player who deserves all the accolades she's getting right now for doing what she's doing for women's
Facts.
All right, we
Facts, man. And I want you guys to check out The View because I'm thinking it blows my mind because you don't see in this, if you want to be real, you don't see black people sticking up for Caitlin Clark. But black people, but Caitlin Clark is pandering to black people. That's how you know it's never enough. But why even go that route? Just keep it about basketball. Basketball, we focus on skill. We focus on competitiveness. We focus on the game. How can you be at work and you let these how individuals can be at work, but they're not so focused on work because they focus on divisiveness and saying such vile, nonsensical things. But check out what The View had to say, family.
Anyway, Time magazine also chose WNBA superstar Caitlin Clark as their athlete of the year. But, okay, here's the problem. A lot of conservatives are having a fit over her interview, and here's what they're so mad about. Watch.
Into the WNBA. Like I've said, I feel like I've earned every single thing that's happened to me over the course of my career. But also, I grew up a fan of this league from a very young age. Like, my favorite player was Maya Moore. Like, I know what this league was about And like I said, like it's only been around 25 plus years. So I know there's been so many amazing Black women that have been in this league, and continuing to uplift them, I think, is very important. And that's something I'm very aware of.
Now,
Why can't you just say you admire the league and you always wanted to be a part of it? Why did you have to pander and be like, oh, I know I deserve this and I always wanted to be impactful. I wanted to be so impactful and make sure I bring so much value to this league, which she is, but then pander to the simple fact that, oh, I know those Black people over there, oh, they also deserve credit too. Their work will ensure that they get the credit that they deserve if they willfully and skillfully worked for it, and the work will speak for itself, just like it speaks for you, Caitlin Clark. What's the difference between them and you? Why can't y'all just be in unison as women and the whole feminine movement come to the games and actually buy tickets and support women? Because we all know that women make up half of America, and women love to spend, and they do the majority of the spending when it comes to goods and materialistic and everything else. Why are we focused on this divisiveness? And that's where Caitlin Clark lost us. She lost me. I'm going to speak for myself. Comment down below how she lost you guys, because I just thought she was the hope in regards of not only changing the trajectory and being impactful where the league can finally fund itself due to how big of an impact she gave with views, ratings, and everything, but also just understanding, look, we're stronger together, we'll be a stronger league, and things are turning around than it was 25 years ago. People can watch us. We're here to play our hearts out, be entertaining, and also give a good game in the nature of competing. Why couldn't it just be that? See, Caitlin Clark was the leader and leading. You know what? I'm not standing for none of that nonsense. I just want to focus on the game of basketball. And she was doing so good in regards of advocating for that. And that's why I rock with her. She wasn't focused on that nonsense. She wasn't focused on that. Look, I just want to focus on the game of basketball and be the best I can. And my teammates in the league. Should have stood that way. So when she started saying her truth and all this, she been influenced by other individuals that were running the Victim Olympics, and they got her to the point where they guilt tripped her and slandered her name and bullied her in regards of saying, oh, I know you built this spotlight, but you should give us some credit too. So now she just like, oh, I know I worked so hard for this spotlight and wanted to bring so much to this league. But and I learned this league, but also don't forget about them, even though this is my spotlight. When you was the only one building your own spotlight, you was the one working on your craft alone, and you was the one working hard to get where you had to get. Even when Caitlin Clark came in the league, oh, she just a rookie. She just a young girl. What Cheryl Swoop say? She just a young girl in the little leagues. Walk up to the big leagues now. They was bumping her and fouling her and playing dirty. Flagrant fouls all over the place. Refs wasn't calling it. Yeah.
conservatives are accusing her of, quote, bowing to the woke mob, unquote.
She is.
For
She
acknowledging
was.
her privilege. Why does this trigger these people on the right?
I have
Was
no
there
idea.
more to that clip? Because I'm a conservative and trying to be triggered, and I'm not seeing it.
No, you're not
I'm
triggered.
struggling.
There's nothing to be triggered, and this is not the first time that she has acknowledged the people whose shoulders she has stood upon. I mean, the WNBA is a very young league. It's only 25 years old, and I'm on the board of the WNBA Board of Advocates. It's over 80%.
No wonder why the darn league is on the lifeline. We got Sonny Houston on the board of advocates, and she barely knows what she's talking about, and she always got to say a legal notice. She always got to speak on legal notes from a legality standpoint because of the false information that she give on this show. As a lawyer, I believe she's a lawyer. Bro, this is crazy.
Black. And because of Caitlin Clark, which I think is who's an incredible athlete who looks like a badass on that cover.
I'm going to wear that dress to the Emmys. That's
Yeah,
a
I
good
mean,
dress.
it's a good one. But look at this. Diversity does matter. Representation matters. People now see themselves in Caitlin Clark, because white viewers have grown 156% year over year and 301% on ESPN networks. That matters not only for the white players, but for the black players too. Everyone wins.
Because they're always triggered. They're just, you find a subject, what's the trigger du jour? It's like, you know, it's like the special at Denny's. Give me the special of the day.
Yeah.
Look, I loved her answer. I have no idea, barely know what a basketball...
Of course the lunch ladies love their answer. You're part of the establishment. You love diversity, equity, and inclusion. Because to be honest, you know how many people jobs and people got passed up just by diversity, equity, and inclusion when they highly qualified for the position, but they don't get it because they gotta hire some black folk or hire a certain amount of. Everybody wants the best fit and qualified for the job. Not just because of a skin color. I don't know. No one who owns a business don't want the best people. It's already hard to find good people in your own business, in having a business. So now you want us to focus on skin color? Ain't that divisive? Doesn't that discredit everyone from the skills that they have? In a diversified, let's talk about diversified skills instead of focus about diversified color. Oh my God, man. It makes me puke, bro. It's disgusting. The stuff that they just, ignorance, man. Basketball, this is sports. We don't see no color here. We just want to see competing. People shooting, people driving, people. Come on, man.
Looks like, but I loved her answer because she's not letting these folks who want to turn her into some sort of racial avatar define her.
Yep.
She just did the very thing that she just said that she didn't. She didn't let them folks. These people love projecting. They'll say what she didn't do, but in reality, they say the same thing about Joe Biden. Oh, he's competent. Not competent at all. He's incompetent. The viewers say so many things. They said that Joe Biden brought manufacturing jobs back. Within his whole administration, within his whole term, he only brought 200,000 manufacturing jobs back. Trump in 2021, after the pandemic and things were recovering, he brought back 500,000 jobs. But Joy Behar said, and check that video I just did recently. Joy Behar said, and I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but I'm gonna tie it together. Joy Behar, whatever how you say her name, I don't care. Lunch lady. She said that Joe Biden brought all more manufacturing jobs more than Trump. Well, that's not true, because Trump brought 500,000 in 2021 before he left office. But she said the facts are here, the statistics are here, and I did my own research. These are the type of people that don't believe what you see. Believe half of what you see, but don't believe what you hear. But you tie it all in together when it comes to this whole thing with Caitlin Clark. And I'm going to end it here, folks. Is she said, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. The more we can elevate the black woman, that's going to be a beautiful thing. Where's the black woman elevating you? Why can't y'all elevate each other? It takes away from the sport, man. And there's no pure skill. Caitlin Clark was the last hope, but she was also the individual that actually was the whole sole purpose. She encapsulated the whole sole purpose of the league, which is to play ball. Play ball. Everything that came with playing, being a team member, being a team player, being a leader, being a point guard, being efficient with her skills, creating space, passing the ball down the floor, being able to make effortless threes from the logo, skills. That's what sports focus on, skills and what you bring to the table. Nothing up, nothing more, nothing less. I'm going to leave it right there, folks. Give this video a big thumbs up if you got some value. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. With no further ado, family, peace.